The Big Four, EY, KPMG, Deloitte, PwC, one of the most in-demand graduate roles, a role which will really elevate your CV. But how much do you actually get paid as a Big Four accountant? Well, you can get paid anywhere between £20,000 and upwards of £1 million per year. And a good chunk of that is included in the annual bonus and the performance bonus. What I'm going to do is look at the base salaries and the bonuses you can expect to get in each of the Big Four accountancy companies. So the Big Four is massive on career progression. They have promotions once every 2 to 3 years if you're working in one of the Big Fours, and they also have annual pay rises to make sure your pay is in line with inflation. And this career progression is very, very clear. So you would typically start out as an associate, and this is your entry-level graduate trainee sort of level that you're going to be at. After that, you'll get promoted to senior associate, and this can take anywhere from 2 to 3 years. It depends when you are fully trained to be an accountant. After senior associate, you go to manager level where you take on a lot more responsibility, and then eventually you will reach partner level, but not everyone will reach partner. I know there is a lot of other sub roles between these, but I'm going to be going over the main 4 roles that you can expect to see at a Big Four accountancy company. Starting at the very first level, associate. This is the level you would go in as a graduate. So as soon as you finish university, you'll be applying to graduate schemes, and this is the role you will start off with. This is the position you will be in. You will be an associate. And an associate carries many different roles and responsibilities, but essentially you are doing the grunt work as a Big Four accountant. And what I mean by that is you are reading reports, you are writing reports, you are having very little client interaction, if any, at this level. Most of your meetings will be with your supervisor and your supervisor only, and your close or immediate team you'll be working with. You'll often get sent a lot of information that you'll have to digest, you'll have to write reports from this, and when you are in meetings, you'll be taking meeting minutes. You will be able to interact in these meetings, but if it's quite high up meetings with the clients, you will not be involved with them. But that being said, you are remunerated very well as a graduate as soon as you go into the company. You can expect to be making definitely within the 20s and 30s thousands, with some slightly more. So Deloitte is one of the lowest paying graduate schemes. Deloitte, you'll be getting paid around £28,000. But if you worked at KPMG, for example, the average salary is around £33,000. But this definitely does depend on the location that you are in. So the salaries can range from really 20 upwards of 35,000. But this isn't the only salary that you'll be making as a Big Four accountant as an associate. You will also have your performance-related bonuses. Now, at this level, your performance-related bonus isn't huge. It's not like your private equity or your investment banking, which you'll be making £20,000, £30,000 as your annual bonus. No, in the Big Four accountancies, there is many different salaries, but breaking it down by Deloitte, EY, KPMG, and PwC. The lowest paying is Deloitte, and it is on average £600 per year. But if you worked for KPMG, for example, you could be making around £2,000 additional pay. PwC and EY sort of sit in the middle around 1,000 to 940, which is still quite reasonable. So that's where you would be initially. But after 2 to 3 years, you'll be promoted to senior associate if you perform well. When you get promoted to senior associate, the roles and responsibilities do change ever so slightly. You will now be managing your team, so you'll be looking over the associates and assigning them work. You will also be reviewing the work that they are doing to make sure it is of good quality for you to hand over to your manager. You will also be involved in some sort of direct client interactions. So you will be within the meetings. You will be with the clients, so you'll be with the businesses that you're working for, but you could also be in communications with finance companies such as private equity. And this is quite complex and difficult. If you're interested in the private equity space, I'd highly recommend this new book which I've written, which provides a comprehensive guide on what exactly private equity is. Aside from that, this role does change quite a lot, but you are remunerated slightly more than you would have been as an associate because of your additional roles and responsibilities within the company. So instead of KPMG being the highest paid as an associate, it now changes. When you're a senior associate, PwC are the ones which pay the most. So PwC, you can expect an average salary of around £47,000, whilst KPMG is only around £39,000. But once again, this all depends on the location that you're in. Because at PwC, you could see salaries as high as 56,000, and at EY, salaries as high as 50,000. When I say it depends on the location, if you're based in London, you're going to get paid more, simply because the cost of living is much more expensive than it is in Manchester, for example, or in Birmingham. You will also get a higher additional pay. So PwC outperforms all of the big four here. It's the average additional pay is £2,000, whilst KPMG is in fact now the lowest at £1,000, whilst Deloitte and EY slowly follow behind at £1,500 and £2,000 additional pay on average. This may sound small, but just wait until we get to partner level. Partners earn a tremendous amount. So once you've been senior associate, you'll probably have sat there for 2 to 3 years, and it all depends on how you perform. If you perform well, you will get promoted to manager, which is the next level up. At manager level, you have much more responsibility. So now you are going to be managing the senior associates and the associates. So this is going to be a much larger team. You've got to be quite cohesive and make sure that all of the senior associates and all of the associates are doing the correct role. You will also be managing the quality of the work. So you'll be looking to see, is the quality of the senior associates' work good? You will also have very direct communication with the clients. You will be in the meetings. You also have extra responsibilities within the firm. So you are responsible for the business activities and the development of the business, trying to help the partners drum in more business. What I mean by that is more companies that they can do accounting services for, or other different services. And as a result, they do get paid slightly more. And once again, out of the big four, KPMG takes the lead. KPMG's average salary for a manager is £55,000. Whilst the lowest here is in fact PwC at quite a low 43,000, because even EY and Deloitte are sat at 54 and 47. But once again, the salaries can range, with KPMG going from 35,000 to even 63,000, all depending on location and experience. But here, the additional pay also increases. So EY is offering £6,000 average additional pay, whilst KPMG is in fact the lowest. Even though it had a higher average salary, it has got an additional pay of only £4,000 per year. And once again, I know what you're thinking, this is quite small for being in the big four and working as an accountant, but just wait until we get to partner. So you would have sat at a manager level, maybe even for 5 years, because you really need to get established within the company and show the partners that you are good and you are exceptional, you're good at leadership. If you are, you will then get promoted to partner level, and this is where you start making a lot of money. So when you are promoted to partner level, you instantly have a lot more roles and responsibility. And job safety really isn't there at all. You have to perform when you're a big four partner. At this level, you are going to be responsible for managing the entire team. So you've got a lot of people that you've got to manage to make sure you are delivering on what your client needs. You are also massively responsible for drumming in new business. So partners will constantly be on the lookout for new businesses, new financial companies to perform accounting services for. So a lot of their role would be going out, having meetings and making sure they win new clients. Because if they win new clients, that is how they're going to make even more money than they currently have. And salaries can really range as a partner. So it can range from 150,000 upwards of 500,000. But there is two clear winners, two big four accountancies which do make a lot more money than the other. And those are Deloitte and PwC. Both of those have an average salary of £250,000, whilst KPMG and EY trail behind at £205,000 and £241,000. But that isn't it. There is obviously the performance-related bonus attached to these salaries. And it really fluctuates year on year and depending on how much business you bring in. So it's very difficult to assign a value or even to assign a range as to how much these partners are making year on year. But as an example, in 2023, PwC partners made on average £906,000 in a year, which funnily enough is less than the record 1.02 million that PwC made the following year in 2022. This slight drop was simply because of the business cycle and not being able to drum up as much business. But you can see here that having an average salary of around £1 million, and bear in mind there is other people that will be making over £1 million, is quite a lot. But you would have had to be in the company for a long time and you would have had to have a tremendous amount of experience. Partner level doesn't just come like that. It takes around 10 to 15 years, maybe even 20 years for some people to reach partner level. And at that point, you're going to be in your 40s or maybe even in your 50s. But you are rewarded very, very well. Now, aside from the salaries and the bonuses, there are also additional incentives and perks that the Big Four offer to incentivize you to work for them. So one of the major perks for working for one of the Big Four is that they will pay towards your professional qualification. Obviously, as you go in as an associate, as a graduate trainee, you need to be working towards the accounting professional qualifications, typically the ACA or the ACCA. PwC, Deloitte, EY and KPMG will all sponsor you towards this, and throughout your role you will have to be studying. This is good because to do this by yourself, to fund the professional qualifications, is very expensive. So for the Big Four to be able to fund your professional qualification for you, and for you to be able to gain extra salary once you've got your professional qualification, is very, very useful, and it allows you to continue to learn out of university, which is also quite nice. So you don't just stick at your level of education, you can also increase that and get a professional qualification. And of course there are levels to professional qualification, so you can go as high as you would like to. Additionally, most of the Big Four offer a free interest-free loan. Deloitte offer an interest-free loan of £7,000 and so do PwC. And this is for things such as your annual railcard pass, your annual season card pass, because these are quite expensive and to upfront that money to start with is impossible for some people who don't have the funds in their bank account. So it's quite nice that they offer a £7,000 interest-free loan to help afford this so you can get to work and not have to worry. So that has been a summary of the base salaries and performance-related bonuses of the Big Four accountancies. Now, if you're interested in extremely high salaries, I would recommend watching investment banking salaries and private equity salaries. And if you're interested in private equity and want to understand more, then please have a look at this comprehensive guide on private equity, which I have compiled from my year's experience in private equity and undertaking interviews with people in the industry. I hope you've enjoyed this video and please like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.